The Ghanaian government has signaled a commitment to tackling the country's carbon footprint with policies ensuring lower sulfur content in fuels and the promotion of renewable sources of energy like solar, wind, and hydroelectric power. However, reducing carbon emissions is different from reducing air pollution. Air pollutants are caused by the tiny particles that are in the gases, smoke, and dust emitted by vehicles, industry, and burning of waste. They invade people's lungs and bloodstream, causing illness, and they cause havoc in the atmosphere. And they continue to grow. The biggest contributor to air pollution is exhaust fumes emitted by the array of aging vehicles crowding the streets, according to the World Health Organization. And it's a growing problem for millions in heavily polluted cities like Accra, causing an increase in asthma, respiratory illnesses, as well as heart and kidney problems.
I don't know whether we have a law backing the pollution or not. I don't know, unless maybe you have to educate me.
That's Abraham Ni Odai, an assemblyman for Nkwantana West, who is responsible for the local governance of a part of Medina. Medina is home to a bustling bus terminal and frequently experiences prolonged traffic congestion. It's also home to one of the biggest markets in Accra.
How many cars do you think we have here?
It's more than, I can't call, but we are getting more than almost about, say, 500,000 cars here. Whenever you are going to Lomé, you are going to Nigeria, you are going to all over the country, maybe continental, maybe Niger, Benin.
So all over. I'll get a car to anywhere in any part of the country here?
Here.
Interesting.
Yeah. Data from air quality sensors dotted across the capital shows Medina has some of the most polluted air in the country. That comes as no surprise to Abraham. This is because the municipal environmental health officers are not well resourced.
Municipal assembly cannot do much. If a law has been passed from the parliament, it will cushion this thing to be sanitize the place. But with the environmental officers in our municipality, they can't do much.
The smoke is disturbing this area because it can give us cancer. It gives a lot of sickness.
The market is teeming with thousands of people. Many of them eat from food vendors that cook with charcoal or wood. The resulting smoke blankets the entire area, causing health risk for everyone here. Muhammad Isa is a resident. He says sometimes it leads to quarrels.
We are all one, brothers and sisters. You take us. Here is not our hometown. We are here for money. So if you are disturbing me or you are doing something against and I talk to you, you have to listen to it. You have to listen, and then
sometimes they don't understand. They come and rather fight with you.
Come and fight with you.
Sometimes the authorities face challenges as well. Abraham says he knows too little about air pollution to pass on the information.
Clearly, I get the point that you have not been educated at all as an individual, even about how to go about educating people.
At all.
Indiscriminate burning, sometimes of rubbish. Look at this one. You can see the carbon. You can see under the exhaust pipe. You can see that all those exhaust emissions are all polluting the air.
NDC Member of Parliament for Medina and human rights lawyer Francis Xavier Sosu is one of a few legislators interested in the clean air space. He says the problem can no longer be left to the local assemblies to deal with. It's time for the national government to get serious about addressing the problems.
The state level, our environmental protection vision has not been very clear. It is the state that must provide leadership. As a people, I don't think we have we have developed a clear-cut vision of our environmental conservation and protection, and I haven't seen like the direct set targets and whether we are actually achieving those targets.
That's why Sosu and two other MPs are sponsoring a private members' bill called the Climate Change Bill that he says is designed to make the government and the biggest polluters accountable. It will enforce clean air standards on vehicle owners, factories, commercial agriculture and households.
When it comes to the Clean Air Bill, we are targeting every aspect or wherever pollution exists. The ultimate responsibility to ensure quality air lies on the government. And that is what this bill seeks to clarify. That look, there are rights holders and there are duty bearers. The states under this circumstance is a duty bearer and has an obligation to ensure that we have clean air so that we don't wait for, until 10 years, 20 years before people are now experiencing lung cancer, all kinds of cancerous circumstances that we cannot deal with. And these are real things that can happen when you don't pay attention to even the kind of air that you are breathing. And so one of the first draft that is almost getting ready is a clean air. Okay. So that under the space we have a clean air bill that places direct obligation on state and state architects to take action when people are undertaking, activities that violate the collective interest or the collective consciousness of everyone.
Former Director of Air Quality at the Environmental Protection Agency, Emmanuel Apple, agrees the laws around air quality need to be harmonized.
Every institution that has to do with pollution of the environment has their own laws, and that is very good, so that we can have interdisciplinary, multi-dimensional approach to reduce pollution. So I agree that institutions should have their own laws per the mandate what the Constitution told us to do, that the state will have to do that. So every organ of the state has to implement the laws that they have. So yes, we have a lot of laws, but key limitation now is that we don't have the air quality policy. Though the laws have been there, but we don't have the policy. So that
the push for a cleaner environment is happening in countries around the world. In 2022, nations at the United Nations General Assembly voted to declare access to clean, healthy, and sustainable environment was a universal human right.
The result of the vote is as follows. In favor, 161, against 0, abstentions 8. The draft resolution A/76/L75 is adopted.
In Clause 6 of the draft bill, it says any individual, firm or government ministry, department or agency who or which willfully and without any justifiable reason, proof of which shall be on the individual, firm or MDA, violates the provisions of this act shall be liable on summary conviction to a fine. Clause 7 of the bill also allows ordinary Ghanaians to hold government accountable by bringing cases before the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice. Pollution from vehicles is one of the biggest contributors to the air quality menace. The bill is targeting to cut Ghana's emissions, and the private transport industry will be affected. Senior Industrial Relations Officer and Head of Communications for the Ghana Private Road Transport Union (GPRTU), Abbas Imoro, admits that air pollution is a major concern, so his members will not oppose it.
Air pollution, we are much concerned because if your vehicle is weak and it pollutes, you spend more on the vehicle. We look at it in this way. Weak engine contributes, bad fuel contributes. If you use a diesel and your pump is also weak, it also contributes.
Abbas says drivers will support the bill on condition that implementers of the law are transparent and apply scientific standards for measuring pollutants in exhaust fumes.
We will support it, but in order not to cheat professional drivers, they should come up with the mechanism. If there is any component which can measure the volume of pollution which should not be allowed to be on the road, but you just can't mention pollution, maybe something in a small size, then you say no, it shouldn't be on the road.
The GPRTU maintains that buses that emit excessive fumes are prohibited from operating at bus terminals. However, the existence of vehicles like this emitting fumes suggests that the GPRTU should not regulate itself. The bill has a long way to go to pass into law. The minority leader, Kaisel Atoforsen, told Joy News the bill is important and will whip all members to support it. It is likely heavy industry and transport companies who have the most to lose from the legislation will lobby members not to support it. Whether it wins enough votes to pass or not, Sosu and his colleagues hope that the bill will get the conversation on air pollution going and rope in industry players, both local and international. This story was a collaboration with New Narratives. Funding was provided by the Clean Air Fund, which had no say in the story's content. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.